That's dope. That's dope.
Hey guys, welcome to the Trading Alpha show today. Scott is not here to join us, but I will be here to guide you through the charts. So let's start off and talk about this crypto market. And I like to start off again. If you guys didn't watch the last show, I would really encourage you to do so. It was a really informative show, and we also went over this ISM, which I think is a leading indicator for things like Bitcoin and risk assets. Okay, so if we're looking at the ISM, if you're just updating from last chart, we've overlaid our trading alpha indicators onto the ISM, and they give really good signals. And as we can see here, where we are in the crypto cycle is we have printed our second green dot. There's your second one, and there's your first one. And we are uptrending from the bottom, and we also have a confirmed bottom with this green dot confirming that the bottom is in. Okay, so from my analysis and trading alpha laid over this, guys, I do think that the crypto market obviously has bottomed, and I do think that we're in an uptrend, and I don't think that this stops anytime soon. If you can look at the last times that we had these signals here, whenever we have a bullish signal on the ISM, it's usually quite a reach until the extension is stopped. This was the only time here that it was kind of a brief extension here in 14. But once we get further on here, we can see that these extensions normally last pretty long. Okay, so out of the 4 extensions that we have, there's only been 1 short extension. So willing to bet that we still have quite a ways to go in this bull market in crypto. Okay, now moving on from the ISM, let's talk about the dollar. Okay, more things that can impact the crypto market right now, or that's giving it strong headwinds. Okay, so if you follow me, guys, by the way, if you don't follow me, you can go to 0hedge_ and look at my charts, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But this dollar chart here, I've talked about quite often, and I update everyone probably once a week. And what we want to know here, basically, if you don't follow me and you don't know this, is that the higher the dollar pushes, okay, the more headwinds there are for risk assets. Okay, the harder it is for risk assets to go up in prices. That's cryptocurrencies, that's stocks. You know, all risk assets have a really hard time the further the dollar pushes upward. But now conversely, if we get the dollar pushing downward like it did over here, okay, that's when you get a lot of that pressure relieved, and it's easier for risk assets like Bitcoin and crypto to move and go upward. And we've really seen a correlation in the past couple of days, especially today. I was watching the market, and it does seem that the crypto market is paying a lot of attention to the dollar strength or weakness. Okay, so where are we with that said? Well, you can see that here that we've gone through a couple of squeeze shadings, right? This lets you know a violent move is coming, right? There's 1 squeeze shading and a breakout arrow, 2 squeeze shadings and a breakout arrow, and we're currently getting a 3rd squeeze shading. We saw this on Ethereum where the market tries to break up and it keeps hitting a resistance level, at which point it keeps failing. Okay, and I was looking for the dollar to pull back. And you can see that I've drawn these little circles here. These are indicating higher lows, okay? Higher lows being made, and then there were higher highs being made. So at this inflection point, I was hoping that we would break below this purple line, which would give us quite a little bit of a rally in crypto, okay? But as you can see, we did not break below this purple line on this weekly candle over here, and we are printing another squeeze shading. So it looks like it wants to give it one more push to see if it can break through resistance. And this is going to be very pivotal going into the next couple of weeks, guys. You want to follow this dollar chart. And if it does break above this area right here, we're going to have a little bit of weakness in the crypto markets, in my opinion. Okay. Conversely, though, if it goes and it tests this resistance and we get rejected again, and then we all of a sudden go to the lows and start making lower lows past this purple line here. So if we get rejected and come past this purple line, I think then the opposite happens, and we see some good times a little bit sooner than we assumed in the crypto market. Okay. Now, also one more thing, if you're looking at the Bitcoin chart, okay, let me pull that up here real quick. If you are looking at the Bitcoin charts, do know that in this juncture where we are after the halving, we usually have about 3 months of consolidation. So this is lining up all perfectly, right? So again, if that dollar ends up coming down right away, we'll pop up a little bit sooner than expected. And if it doesn't, it just goes hand in hand. We probably have another, month and a half, 2 months if we want to really line up perfectly. If we compare ourselves to previous cycles after the halving. Okay, so now let's get to some stuff that's not as boring as this macro framework here. Let's get into some altcoins, okay? Specifically some meme coins. We're going to go over Bonk, Pepe, Whiff, and Ando, one that I've been requested to do quite a bit and I haven't done it. So let's get to it. Starting with Bonk, for those of you guys that are in Bonk, let's enlarge this chart. This is the daily chart, okay? On the daily chart of Bonk, again, I like to use the daily in a lower time frame for memes. There's other ones like Pepe that are turning more macro. We'll look at the weekly. But starting with Bonk, looking at the daily here, okay, starting left to right, you can see, as you know, our setups, the B signals, right, that are confirmed with green dots. This lets you know that that bottom has been put in, okay? So you can see here that we did get some up action here, but it kind of faded away, never breaking below the track line, never making a lower low than the bottom signal. This is still confirmed. Then we get green dots breaking above this area, which would have been, in my opinion, your stage 2, part 2 uptrend. We go parabolic. For those of you following me, this is not an unusual pattern. I've called this pattern quite a bit, actually, leading into this bull market, right? And these stage 2s are amazing. Okay, I'm going to show you another one that happened just recently. So just know that framework. Sideways stage 1, break above a resistance level right here. Stage 2 starts parabolic, right? And a lot of times we get those bottom signals in stage 1. Okay, now going forward, we go through a stage 3 basing, sideways pattern. After that, we break below the track line. This is stage 4. There's no buying happening here in stage 4 at all. We see some bottom signals. There's no green dots to confirm this bottom. It is not a confirmed bottom like this is. We see some lower price action, okay? And this is expected in a stage 4. And anytime you have the red track line going from red to yellow to red, anytime we see this, we just stay out of this. This is a stage 4 downtrend. Eventually, we get green dots. We break above the track line. The track line turns green. Now we get a different dynamic playing. This whole cycle here, in my opinion, is reset. We go back into stage 1 basing. And here is my stage 1 basing line. We go back into stage 2. Hopefully that wasn't too long for you guys, but if you learn this stuff, it's really, really important, and it makes such a difference. I mean, if you can literally comprehend this stuff, it'll literally be a game changer. So here we are, okay, updating us in stage 2, and we've kind of had this big pullback. Now, where are we and what are we thinking with this pullback? Well, in my opinion, if I'm looking at the charts here, I'm going to look at something like this. I'm probably going to draw something like this from these little closes to this wick. Probably going to come across here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It even lines up with the previous stuff. Sorry for the red bar here. But so what you see here is you see a breakout past stage 1 in the stage 2 uptrend, okay? And we're simply now pulling back to what I call a logical place. A logical place is the past pivot here, a resistance now turns support. Okay, so that's all we're doing. If we do get a green dot reaction off of this, it might even be a high probability setup. And especially if we then close after that bounce above that level, okay, that'll be another higher high in the structure. That'll be bullish. Okay, so I'm telling you what to look for on a positive bullish argument for Bonk going forward. I really actually like this area that pulled back. This probably scared a lot of people, but if you know a structure, this actually looks pretty healthy to me still. Okay, so I still like Bonk, guys. Let's move on to the next chart. It's not a great entry, right? If we get a good reaction off of here, it might be a good entry with a little stop loss below. Of course, the stage 2 breakout from here was your ideal entry. And the further you get away from the ideal entry, of course, the lower your probabilities is. But again, I like this structure. I see nothing wrong with it. Let's move on. Moving on now to Pepe. Okay, Pepe, the one that has surprised us all. You kind of see a similar structure where it's broken out here. What do you see, guys? My stage 2 breakout, baby. Stage 2 breakout going parabolic. We pull back. It's got a little bit more volatility because it is a meme coin. So it breaks down into stage 2, retests the stage 2 breakout, and confirms it. Okay, and now we're pulling back just like we did on Bonk. So what do we do now when there's no actual pivotal resistance here? Well, I think there actually is. I think I would put it at that right there. Bam. So that's what I'd watch out for. I'd watch for a retest of this. If we do break below that, then the structure has changed. And of course, we're looking to test the track line here. But I still think this is very, very valid. I don't think see anything wrong with this. In fact, whenever we go into our parabolic stage 2s, Okay, normally when I'm looking to take profit is when these green dots stop. Okay, so it's taking into account that Pepe is more volatile. It's giving it more room to run. And again, it's not breaking past this level. It's got green dots still. So I'm still okay with this. If I was in this move from stage 2, I would still hold this, but my invalidation point would be a little bit below here. Okay, if you are in good profits from Pepe. But again, this whole stage 2, right, that went from, I think it's probably, let's call it stage 2 part 1, and then here 2 part 2. Okay, and 2 part 2 is always your parabolic phase. You can see how it's going up at a much higher steep angle. Okay, guys, so I think Pepe is pretty good. We can even look on the weekly charts. You know, the weekly chart looks even more bullish. But let's go over this again because it's really important that I teach you guys. I love teaching, and this is so important, this framework. Again, sideways consolidation between resistance, it hits resistance, keeps getting rejected, and support, okay, keeps finding a floor. Rejected, floor. Okay, so this is your stage 1 basing. You don't buy in stage 1 no matter what signals we have. Okay, but then we break above it. First, we get a squeeze shading, letting you know a violent move is coming. This lets us know, basically, in my terms, that stage 2 is a probability of happening, and wait for the breakout. We do get the breakout, consecutive green dots above a green track line now and resistance. This is your long signal here on Pepe. Okay, pull back to the track line over here. Whenever you test the track line, and you have a green dot reaction right here, again, another good entry signal. So if you didn't catch that last one, probably would have caught this one. And where are we? We're still in stage 2. And again, this is the support on the daily chart, not the weekly chart. But on the weekly chart, this still looks great. Relative strength is great. In fact, this large candle here, a lot of times I like to look for this pullback. And if it pulls back past the 50% mark, that's where I start to get a little bit questionable on the trend. This looks absolutely strong still. No problem with Pepe. I'll give it a, let's actually start giving scores. I like that. Give you guys reference to what I'm thinking. I'll give Pepe 8 out of 10 right now. Okay. As it sits right now with the structure, 8 out of 10. Moving on. Let's go to Whiff. Okay. Whiff hat dog. Let's go and enlarge this. Dog with hat. Okay. So looking at this, guys, I've talked to you about this before. I know a lot of people are in Whiff. It's a lot of people's main coin for the meme coin for the cycle. You know, I told you guys that until we're above this line right here, I'm not bullish yet. This is consolidation. We're now breaking above it. This is the first time that I somewhat get a little bit bullish. But again, even if this starts to take off, the next target is right here, right, where we're going to test resistance all over again. So we're basically in a trading range, and we're jumping from range to range. So we're jumping from this range, in my opinion, and now we're going to test and see if we can hold above this range, just like we were. Maybe we go up and test this here and get rejected again. I don't know, right? That's why we don't assume, but we react. What we can tell right now is that we have a squeeze shading. We do have a setup. It is a green track line. We're above the green track line. We have consecutive green dots. Okay. And we also have a breakout arrow. So this is a very good move for now. I do think it's pulling back with the overall market. If the market picked up, if Bitcoin picked up, I think it's going to test this area over here. So that's my bullish argument. But again, guys, for me, you know, until we break above these levels right here, this is your 10 out of 10 bullish. Okay. Most people don't like highs. I love highs. It means that there's no overhead demand or supply resistance here for people trying to get out. There's nothing. It's clear skies. So again, this is what I'm really waiting for. I'm not really playing Whiff at these levels, but if you are, this would be your target, guys. Moving on. Okay, let's look at the next one. Ando. I am not in this coin, but I get requests for this coin. I've been getting it for months. Okay, so let's talk about Ando here. Okay, this is the 6-hour chart. I'm trying to diagnose it because it's had a really good run. And if you are in this coin, that's the people that I want to help. Okay, the people that have tagged me. So we have a bottom signal here, guys. You know, money chart. You get the green dot after the bottom, and you know it's rocket time. We go into our stage 2. Part 1, then we go back into our stage 3 basing here. You would go and then draw a little bit of resistance here. Let's say you did take profits here and you were out of this after the green dot stopped. Once we broke above, you would redeploy that money right here into your stage 2, part 2. And now we're breaking into part 3 again. So this is where I start to get a little bit more defensive. You can see not only do we have red dots, which we didn't have the whole prior stage 2 or stage 3. So we have red dots now, which is telling you that the trend is changing on a micro level. On a micro level, it's getting bearish. Not only that, but now we have our first red bar. So now it's telling you on a macro level, we're getting bearish. The trend synergistically is working together to let you know right now it's getting weaker. So if you are in this coin, I would consider taking a break. you have all this resistance then get over, even if it does reverse, where you can easily see invalidation levels. So I would wait for this to play out. If you are in this, do what you want. If it was me, I would be taking profits on this one. Okay. Ando, again, a great coin. As far as price action goes, it's been really beautiful, but it's telling me here that it's time to take a break from trading alpha. Okay. Not from trading alpha, but trading alpha is telling us it's time to take a break. Let's move on. We haven't talked about Bitcoin. We talked about it a little bit, but again, where is Bitcoin right now? Well, we've gone through our bottom signal. Green dots confirms the bottom. These weren't confirmed, red dots. Green dots confirm the bottom. Stage 2, part 1. Stage 3. Stage 2, part 2. What's stage 2, part 2, guys? That's the parabolic phase. This here is the parabolic phase where you hold as long as there's green dots. Now, the green dots did end here. It was right above our support, so I was okay with that. And then we got a green dot reaction, and we're back in the game. And all that we're doing right here, in my opinion, okay, if you take past cycle analysis of us basing for 3 months, and then you look at this, we couldn't be basing at a better place. I mean, I know it's at all-time highs. People get scared. It's very scary to think that we could get rejected again. But if we're basing here with green dots and the macro framework is good, the ISM is good, the previous cycles tell us this is exactly what we should be doing. This looks like we're basing at the highest level that it's letting us base before a stage 2 breakout again. That's in my opinion, okay? Green dots, green bars, this is bullish consolidation. This is not bearish consolidation, okay? We're simply just waiting for the catalyst to get us through this little supply. And then, baby, there is no more resistance, okay? So that's what I'm waiting for. Super bullish on Bitcoin. My macro framework, from everything from past cycle analysis to liquidity cycles to price action, all looks bullish. I'm still very much bullish on this cycle, guys. I can't repeat that word bullish enough. Okay, moving on to ETH. We've got the ETH ETF. Everyone's wondering what's going to happen with ETH. Is it going to explode higher? Is it going to pop the altcoin market? What's going to happen here? Well, let's jump into the charts. Okay, guys, this is the daily chart here. You can see your stage. I guess there was a bottom signal if we turn them on. You get your green dot bottom signal. We get into your stage 2 uptrend. We start basing, very volatile, and then we go through a stage 4 downtrend. Anytime you go below a track line with red dots, it's a stage 4, okay? Especially when it starts to turn red on the track line while you're below it. In stage 4, guys, our rule is very simple. No matter what signals you get, you do not buy stage 4s ever. You never long stage 4s and you never short stage 2s. Simple rule to make sure that you're on the right side of the track 90% of the time, okay? Then we get a bottom signal here. Obviously, I don't have them turned on. So let's turn them on. Boom, let's go. Why don't you turn on? There you go. All right, so we have a bottom signal here in stage 4, starting to get to stage 1 basing, squeeze breakout, green dots confirm the bottom, and get the breakout arrow. I know I'm talking like an auctioneer, guys, but this stuff is fucking magical. I'm just being honest. Breaking out into stage 2, and what are we doing? We're doing the same thing Bitcoin's doing. It's the same chart to me right now. You're above all-time resistance, right? Just waiting for it to pop up. What is that for Ethereum? Maybe some more news about inflows coming into the ETF or something like that. I don't know. But we did see with Bitcoin that when you did have its ETF, it rallied all the way until the decision. Then the decision was a little bit of a sell the news event. Everyone got scared that it wasn't going to work. And then when you gave it time for the inflows to come in, it magically started skyrocketing higher. It's exactly what I think is going to happen with Ethereum. I mean, look, BlackRock is not stupid, guys. They're lining this almost, can't cuss with you guys. They're lining this stuff up pretty perfectly. Everything's getting lined up for the parabolic extension of the bull market. Okay, they see exactly what we see from prior cycles, and I think this is what's happening. So I'm really excited. Okay, but yeah, where's Ethereum going now? I don't know. We just know our levels. Whenever we get to these levels and we react to these levels, then that's when you make your decisions. Okay, you can guess what you want. Right now, the trend is on our side. We got green dots, green bars, and we simply just got a little bit of supply left here, and we kept testing it. And every test supply, aka resistance, we're absorbing more of those orders that, guys that bought here that have been waiting all that time to get out. Okay, every time we test that resistance, we're eating more of those orders up. Okay, until there's no more, and then we're going to break through, in my opinion. Okay, so whatever happens till now, whether we get a little bit of a correction, there is some framework that says that we could still get a little bit of a correction right before the next leg in the whole crypto market, right? That might be the catalyst that we need, like a little springboard. Okay, but whatever it is, guys, again, my long term, very, very bullish. Moving on to a few other coins, and I'm almost running out of time, guys. That's what happens when you got me talking about charts. Link, I got a few questions about Link. What do I think about Link? Well, if you look here on the weekly chart, on the macro chart, again, stage 1, stage 2 breakout. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff. You know how my framework goes. But then I start thinking, okay, this kind of looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders, okay? So I'm very, very happy to see that not only did we not come down and reject here and make another shoulder, okay, which would have been bad, a bearish signal, okay, but we delineated that shoulder right here on a green dot above resistance, right above the neckline. So when you have a bearish pattern or a bearish setup, and just like our topping signals, okay, if you guys are members to Trading Alpha, you know that once we get an invalidated top, it becomes almost a bullish signal in itself, okay, because pretty much everyone expected something to happen and it didn't happen. So the opposite usually runs, right? Same thing here. We have a head and shoulders, gets delineated, and it starts running again because that bearish setup that everyone was watching kind of failed. Okay, which is a good thing. We want as many of these failures in crypto right now as possible to keep the market propped up until the next leg. But yeah, this looks really good. What I would look for now, okay, at least you know it's not a bearish setup. There's no bearish argument. Let's just keep this real simple, okay? There's a lot of price action happening here. Let's get past that. Let's break above these pivot highs here and call this a continuation of stage 2, okay? You know what to do in stage 2s. Guys, moving on to Solana. We have not got a lot of time. 7 more minutes left here. Gosh, you want me to talk about my favorite coin and wrap it up real quick? Okay, so here we go, guys. As you know, Solana, this is my biggest bag this crypto cycle. I kind of picked something that is in the middle between getting me higher beta than Bitcoin, a little bit more profit on volatility, but not being super high risk, right? So that's how I'm analyzing Solana. As you guys know that have followed me, we got in here around this area, okay, around $24, $25. This is when I started screaming, let's go. Stage 2 is about to come. Stage 2 happened. We went parabolic, had a retest. So I got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me get rid of this stuff. We had a retest of the track line. Obviously, this is other time frames. We get a retest of the track line. Right at the track line, we get a green dot. I believe Scott, this is where he bought some when he saw the green dot reaction. And again, now we're just testing this area right here. I don't think it'll be long before we go and we're retesting those highs of those recent highs of 200. Look, this is one of my most coins that I'm the most bullish on. When this market wakes up and does that second leg, just like it outperformed in the beginning, it's going to outperform again, in my honest opinion. Okay. Again, if you ask me for targets for this, I hate doing targets. I think it's silly. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see between 500 and 1,000 that everyone's saying that's not that far off. And I've done a lot of framework on Solana, comparing it to previous cycles and kind of comparing where we're at right now and how much we can have left in the system. If this does anything remotely close to what previously happened, 500 to 1,000 would honestly, I mean, if you're just comparing it, that's low ball. So, all right, guys, let's talk about Render. Another one of my favorite coins this cycle. This was my higher beta to Solana. So I wanted one more coin where I stick, not as much of a position in, but it has a higher beta, meaning it can give me higher price action reward, and there's also more risk, okay? Again, I got you guys into this very early. This is another one that, everyone should be, if you're following me a long time, you should be sitting in a lot of profits on this one. Guys, I always said that $13 as we're approaching, that's going to be the area to break above or we fall down. We fell more than I thought, but we did have a good reaction, again, off the track line. Keep noticing these patterns when they happen. Good reaction off the track line. This is the only supply that we got to get through. Again, we might see what happens in the crypto market, but those are the only levels that I'm watching, and I'm staying long. Okay, I'm just being honest. I'm staying long, and I might even add a little bit more if we can get through this little area right here. Guys, you are watching me use the Trading Alpha indicators, laying it over the charts. If you do want to use the Trading Alpha indicators, you can find them in the comment section on the YouTube right here. Once you do that, you're going to head to our website from that link. At the website, there is a 10% discount. Make sure you look for the Alpha Bundle Yearly, okay, not the monthly. The yearly is the one that has the dots, the track line, and all the premium indicators. Sign up for that yearly, but before you pay, make sure that you use our coupon. We have a 10% off code. When you're checking out, once you've added it to your cart, on the left-hand side during checkout, you're going to see a discount code section. Type in 10 off sale, all one word, 10 off sale, to drop the price by 10%. Also know that when you do sign up, you do get access to my VIP Discord, where I'm there every day. You can ask questions. You can ask me about the stages, how they work. We also have videos, and every now and then I do streams as well. Okay, you get that included in the Alpha Bundle indicators. With that said, guys, I also want to mention one last thing. If you want to follow my account and see more of my charts, you can catch me at 0hedge_. Okay, that's 0hedge_. That's it for today, guys, and I'll catch you on the next charts next week. Cheers.
That's dope.